about last month's school shooting in Connecticut.
She was extremely frightened. She told me on Thursday, she says, "Mommy, please don't send me to school. I don't want to go to school. I'm scared."
Tasha called the school the day of the incident and says the principal promised to sit down with the second grader who made the threat, his parents, and the school's police officer. But Tasha wanted more.
I would have liked to have seen the kid kicked off of the school bus for the rest of the school year and suspended.
We contacted the district about the incident, and in a statement it said it takes all threats very seriously, working closely with both parents and the police. Actions taken in these situations are based on the results of the investigation, along with age-appropriate measures for students, the statement read. Measures that may not work, say Tasha and Deborah. They believe bullying on the bus happens every day.
It seems to be every time my kids get off the school bus. One or the other is upset, crying because a kid's yelled at them, has threatened them.
Deborah and Tasha said the district admitted to them this particular bus route has proved especially problematic this school year, forcing it to switch drivers several times. Live in studio, Matt King, Fox 9 on your side.
A major decision tonight from the Nampa School Board. After months of scrambling to find ways to shore up a multi-million-dollar budget deficit, the board has a plan. They're going to ask taxpayers to pay up again. Eric Fink is live in Nampa with the very latest.
Michelle, the school board just approved about 25 minutes ago a supplemental levy of $4.3 million. That is of a very similar number to what this deficit is. That levy election will be held in March. I spoke to a teacher and a parent tonight. They are certainly very concerned about the state of education here in Nampa. That teacher, Mandy Simpson, a math teacher at Columbia High School, says she was very surprised to hear that the board approved that $4.3 million levy. And she says, while it is not fair for anybody to have to pay money to help the district get out of this hole, she says students' education here in this district must come first. And she says that she hopes the board will overwhelm, or rather taxpayers and voters will overwhelmingly support this levy. The parent I spoke with is not so sure. We'll hear more from both of them on our sister station, Today's 6, coming up at 10 o'clock. Live tonight in Nampa, Eric Fink, Fox 9 on your side. Michelle, Roland?
All right, thanks, Eric. Well, Ada County hired a chief of staff for a reported $85,000 a year. Commissioner Dave Kay says that is in part the price of transparency, an issue that he put at the forefront of his campaign. Tonight, we're on your side to ask Case what a man who will be paid nearly as much as commissioners themselves will do for transparency. Dave Case says all the commissioners agreed on the hiring of Larry Manili.
He's a great guy. He knows how to communicate with folks, and that's what we were looking for.
Case says he thinks Manili will be the county's first chief of staff and will handle transparency issues because the commissioners are too busy with day-to-day meetings.
But now these are all things that other boards of commissioners have had to deal with, pretty much except for the Dynamis issue there, that they all dealt with without the extra position.
You know, and again, I look back on the last election, and I look about the disgruntlement with the citizens feeling like that they didn't get the attention they needed.
Opponents of the Dynamis plan complained the most about the lack of transparency and say they hope Manili succeeds.
Sometimes a PR person can be perceived as a flack who's there to spin everything, spin bad things into good things. The other way to look at it, and the way that I'm hopeful it will actually turn out to be, is that the PR person is there to rebuild trust.
Attorney Andrew Shoppy says he's had issues with the extreme cost of public records through the county and expects change soon.
Quick action, which they've promised, said that there will be a lot coming down in the next 2 weeks.
Manili worked for the state liquor division and most recently was an account executive with the Idaho Stampede basketball franchise. Two entities without a lot of transparency issues to solve.
He hasn't actually done that in this capacity for any other agency before, correct?
Well, I think it's problem-solving skills, and I think he has those problem-solving skills.
Whether his problem-solving skills are worth the $85,000 salary is a matter for time to settle. Case says the money to pay Manili came from unspecified positions that had gone unfilled in other county departments. By the way, commissioners make just about $10,000 more than their chief of staff.
Boise State is hoping their conference home opener at Taco Bell Arena will be very, very loud. As a matter of fact, the school has called for an orange out. They're taking on 19th-ranked New Mexico Lobos. There are over 9,000 tickets that have been sold so far. Coach Leon Rice says he likes these kind of home games.
Oh, I love being in a place like this when it's all orange. It's an electric color. It kind of gives you a lot of energy. So I definitely think it helps our team.
The Boise State leading scorer, Derek Marks, and 2 others are going to be back from suspension. Tip-off tomorrow at Taco Bell Arena, 7 p.m. I think it's going to be loud.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be fun to see. Well, in less than 2 weeks, the nation will look on as Barack Obama is inaugurated again. Following the swearing in, a celebration kicks off with a big parade, and every state is represented.
Well, Idaho actually almost missed the chance, Roland. As Mike Vogel tells us, Idaho firefighters saved the day.
They're practicing for the big day, the most important gig they've played in their lives.
To play for the President of the United States, I don't think it's going to get any bigger.
20 of them will represent Idaho in the inauguration parade in Washington, D.C.
We have members from Boise, Meridian, Coeur d'Alene, and Lewiston, and we're all going to meet back up there and march down Pennsylvania Avenue.
A historic parade that started with George Washington. What's almost as amazing, though, is how this almost didn't happen.
January 1st comes along. The deadline was December 31st for entries into the inaugural parade.
The deadline came and went, and no one from the entire state stepped forward to participate. And then the phone call.
We were selected last Friday. I got a phone call out of the blue that said, hey, do you want to go to Washington, D.C. and represent the state of Idaho, the firefighters, and be a part of history, basically.
While the event is coordinated and hosted by the inaugural committee, the firefighters want people to know this is not a political statement.
It's just such an honor to be back there to take part in the inaugural parade.
They would have assembled and put their hearts and soul into it for a Democrat, Republican, or Independent.
We want to support our country. We're very patriotic, and we're going to go back there and do the best that we can.
What's most important to them is representing Idaho.
20 bagpipers and drummers. We are going to be making some noise in Washington, D.C., and we are proudly going to be waving that Idaho flag.
Mike Vogel, Fox 9 on your side.
That's great. So a number of fast food restaurants around the valley have seemingly flown the coop. So what's the deal? Don Nelson's no chicken when it comes to finding answers in tonight's On Your Side inbox.
Oh, did you write that? That's very clever. Rob from Caldwell wants to know, where's the chicken? It seems KFC has closed a couple of stores in Canyon County. What's going on? The chilling chicken caper is not just changing the chicken landscape in Canyon County, but a history here. Last November, the Idaho Statesman reported 7 KFCs in Ada County and 2 in Canyon County were getting new owners. Today, I spoke with the old owners, an outfit out of California, who confirmed they were out of the chicken business in Idaho. I contacted the new owners out of Atlanta, Georgia today, who operate Popeye's Chicken, and they were, well, let's just say they were a bit more vague as to what's going to happen to the mothballed operations in the Treasure Valley. The company told me they had no plans to expand in Idaho, period. No Popeyes and no re-imaging plans for the former KFC locations. Right now, there are 2 Popeyes, one on Fairview in Boise, the other in Mountain Home. We'll just have to wait and see. If you have a question or a concern, today's 6 on Your Side wants to hear from you. Just go to IdahoOnYourSide.com or call 381-6666.
Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
It is cold out there again. Let's take a look at the numbers across the Treasure Valley. We'll focus on Boise right now. High temperature hit 22 today. It's the best we could do. Normal high 37. Low this morning was on the cold side, but it wasn't this low. It's as cold as it has been all day right now at 9 degrees. We were down in the teens this morning, and here we are dropping to 9 because the sky is clear for Ada County, although low cloud cover developing in parts of the valley, especially around Caldwell and points to the west towards Ontario. 5 inches of snow, 5.2 for the month of January thus far. That's the average for the entire month of January, yet we've had it already, although the dry spell may stick around for a while, so we may end the month with close to this. Sunrise, sunset, we've gained about 18 minutes since January 1st, so there's something to look forward to. But not the best of news here. High pressure blocking any storms to bring any moisture in for some time to come, certainly tomorrow. Here's the current weather: 9 in Boise, 8 Ontario, 7 in Mountain Home. Those numbers are real lean. It's 17 in Twin. The reason it's less cold is because of a very low cloud cover that's been sticking around. Forecast coming up for tomorrow. Today was 22. Tomorrow will be 22. There'll be some fog around, some low clouds. The ice that's in your driveway,
It's gonna
it will
stay.
still be there.
Yes. I'm just ready for that to go away.
And this weekend, the ice in your driveway will probably still be there.
Great.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
All
The
right.
full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. Well, coming up next on Fox 9 On Your Side tonight, the gun control debate is about to shift into overdrive as rumors fly about the president's nearly 24 potential executive orders that may soon become a reality.
And still ahead, Oprah dishes on her one-on-one interview with Lance Armstrong. We're going to show you why the cyclist's confession could land him in even more trouble.
Roland Ferris, Michelle Edmonds, Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval, Sports with Paul Gerke. This is Fox 9 On Your Side at 9.
Weather is brought to you by Steve's Hometown Toyota. Try Steve's Hometown Toyota in Ontario.
I would love to sign your boobs if I had a marker.
Don't do it. Don't do it on national TV.
See, I have something with volume.
If she called me something that begins with a B, I rebuke it.
When they talk about this season, and they will talk about this season.
I want to skin you and wear you.
Don't be the one who missed it. Everyone dreams. Idol delivers. It's Idol like you've never seen it before. This Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
I'm looking for free checking that's actually free.
We do that.
Say it back to me.
We offer free checking that's actually free.
I got it on tape, so no takebacks.
No takebacks.
Looks like lunch just got a little crazy. You're telling me for just $5 you get a quarter-pound grill burger topped with melted cheese, delicious DQ fries like golden rays of sunshine, a tall, cool drink bubbling with bubbles, and the one-of-a-kind mini blizzard to top it off? Maybe somebody should pinch me. Not too hard, though. The $5 meal deal. That's a lot of food for just $5. And try one of these delicious Orange Julius Premium Fruit Smoothies.
Mobile banking.
We do that.
Mobile check deposits.
We do that.
Text banking.
We do that.
Haircuts.
I'll have to check with my manager on that one.
You're watching Fox 9 On Your Side at 9.
Gun rights advocates are bracing for the worst tonight.
President Obama is said to be considering almost 24 possible executive orders on gun control. Orders that do not require congressional approval. Fox News correspondent Wendell Goler has the latest right now in America.
Aides say the president and vice president will propose things we can do as a nation to protect innocents from gun violence.
They will be joined by children from around the country who wrote the president letters in the wake of that tragedy, expressing their concerns about gun violence and school safety along with their parents.
Mr. Obama has called the day of the Newtown massacre the worst day of his presidency, though the decision to invite children to Wednesday's event inflamed some of his critics. Mr. Biden's recommendations include legislative proposals and things the government can do on its own, like crack down on people who lie on background checks and ordering tougher penalties for gun trafficking and helping states do a better job of mental health reporting. The president said on Monday he isn't focused on the political impact of his gun proposals.
Will all of them get through this Congress? I don't know.
But Majority Leader Harry Reid says he won't ask Democrats in the Senate to vote on measures likely to be rejected by the Republican-controlled House.
I'm not going to be going through a bunch of these gyrations just to say we've done something, because if we're really legislators, the purpose of it is to pass legislation.
And Virginia Republican Congressman Bob Goodlatte, whose committee will consider the gun proposals, makes clear he'll be a tough sell.
This is a very important constitutional right, and we are very dedicated to protecting the Second Amendment from that standpoint.
Goodlatte opposes both a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines that are likely to be among the president's proposals. Meanwhile, the Newtown shootings are prompting action at the state and local level. In Novato, California, a gun buyback program ran out of cash in the first half hour. In Albany, New York, a bipartisan group of assemblymen passed the toughest gun control law in the nation, and Governor Andrew Cuomo immediately signed it.
We saw, we learned, we responded, and we acted, and we're doing something about it. We are not victims.
The president hopes increased public attention will help persuade reluctant members of Congress to support his national proposals, but with lawmakers focused on the debt, he may find it hard to get their attention. At the White House, Wendell Golder, Fox News.
For years, Lance Armstrong has denied taking drugs during competitions, but Oprah says he's come clean.
Now, Lisa Sylvester tells us why a confession to doping could cause big legal troubles for Armstrong.
Listen, I've said it for 7 years. I've said it for longer than 7 years. I have never doped. The cynics and the skeptics, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry you can't dream big, and I'm sorry you don't believe in miracles. All clean. Totally negative.
For more than a decade, Lance Armstrong looked into cameras and denied doping. But in a 2.5-hour interview with Oprah Winfrey, Armstrong talks candidly about what is said to be his use of performance-enhancing drugs.
I would say he did not come clean in the manner that I expected. It was surprising to me. I would say that for myself, my team, all of us in the room, we were mesmerized and riveted by some of his answers.
The interview is scheduled to air on Oprah's show Thursday and Friday. She talked about her exclusive interview on CBS this morning.
Well, I would say there were a couple of times where he was emotional, but emotional doesn't begin to describe the intensity or the difficulty that I think that he experienced in talking about some of these things.
Oprah said Armstrong came prepared and, quote, brought it. Confession, though, from Armstrong could come with a price, legal battles. During his career, he hauled into court many of those who questioned his integrity or insinuated that he doped.
You are not worth the chair that you're sitting on.
After his interview with Oprah, Armstrong could likely face counter lawsuits. The upside for him is the possibility of getting his lifetime ban in competitive sports lifted. That would allow him to compete in triathlons. But to redeem himself, he may need to give up names to the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency.
Lance Armstrong is now in a position where he needs to do what they are telling him to do. He needs to dance to their tune. And that is very tough for a guy who makes Rahm Emanuel look like Tickle Me Elmo.
Armstrong's teammates have already stepped forward with what they know. Now there are news reports that Armstrong may testify against high-ranking cycling officials and others. The team's director, a team doctor, and the team trainer are also under investigation by the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. They have denied the allegations.
If we're to believe what we've heard from other witnesses against Lance Armstrong, this is a huge conspiracy in professional biking. And I would think you would need a very full and frank disclosure by him before the public is going to consider redemption and forgiveness.
Follow that one.
Yeah,
Lisa Sylvester reporting. Coming up next, a guy with no controversy at all. We head to the Weather Center.
Not yet, at least.
Exactly. It's going to stay cold. Scott has your complete on-your-side forecast coming up.
And here's tonight's Pump Patrol. Head to the Maverick on Federal Way to fill up for $2.77 a gallon. And to find the cheapest gas in your neighborhood, just go to IdahoOnYourSide.com and click on the Features tab.
Pump Patrol brought to you by Mountain Home Auto Ranch, where we do business a better way. Exit 95 Mountain Home.
Your best price on every vehicle at MHAutoRanch.com. Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, and Ram truck, MHAutoRanch.com.
On the next 2.5 Men, Charlie's got special attorney-client privileges.
I'd like a moment to confer with my witness.
You are making me so hot. On 2.5 Men, weeknights at 10 on Fox 9.
Calling all teachers. CapEd is back with grants for classroom programs, projects, and teaching aids. Teachers can apply for one of up to 8 $750 grants awarded each month from October through April. Visit capedfcu.org for information and an application.
Let your inner desire direct you to a delectable $1 deal of outright unequivocal delight. Because any size icy cold Coca-Cola, soft drink, or sweet tea is just $1. The simple joy of pursuing happiness.
Traffic
Traffic is backed up on Highway 23. This is 30 minutes you'll never get back. Hey! Things are finally moving on 23. Good workout, Mike.
God knows your situation better than you know it. God loves you and loves the person that you're praying for. You do not have to.
The truth is always straightforward, no matter where you are. Gospel Truth with Andrew Womack airs Monday through Friday on this station.
Jesus said the devil's a bad devil. God's a good God. If it's good, it's God. If it's bad, it's the devil. But see, there's a lot of people that don't have that philosophy. Religion has actually put forth.
Download Idaho's most advanced weather app. Search Idaho on your side in your app store. Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
Boy, those cold temperatures are certainly here. I said it, my 3-degree guaranteed. We did 19 degrees for the high temperature today. We did pop up to 22 because we had that hazy sunshine today. So this is making me think that we're going to be right around that 22 because not too much will change tomorrow, though. We are seeing low clouds forming in parts of the valley. I think Ada County has a good chance of going low clouds, some fog around in the places that stay mostly clear. Temperatures actually rising just a little bit towards morning. We're going to reach our lows in some places after midnight tonight, and then coming up a couple degrees, but we're in the single digits. Tomorrow, though, some hazy sunshine was likely to be in this range again during the day. That cold weather just hanging on. Not much goes on when you're under a big ridge of high pressure, and that's the case. Low temperatures this morning. Now, we hit 11 this morning. It might even been 13. I can't even remember now. The temperature's been kind of doing those weird things at night, but now down to 9 degrees, and so that's the low temperature for the day. 2 in Ontario, 9 Mountain Home, 10 McCall, 8 below 0 in Stanley this morning. There's the afternoon high temperatures. Pretty consistent around the valley. It's been a little colder in the Western Valley, and Twin Falls checking in at 19 degrees. Let's take a look at that current weather. There's the 9 in Boise, 7 in Mountain Home, 17 in Twin because of low cloud cover, single digits in the mountains as well. But you see consistent readings for the mountains to the north and in the valley, as well as we have a bit of an inversion, which we're going to talk more about coming up in my special weather segment, as we have one of our weather whiz kids asking you questions about inversion. So you'd be interested to see where all that warm weather is. So big ridge of high pressure, you see it right in here. It's going to stick around through Sunday. We're talking about some real mild temperatures, mostly clear skies right now. What we've got here is just low clouds forming in the Western Valley, also around Twin Falls, and eventually the moisture will increase and we'll see low clouds forming, and pollution is increasing in the valley as well. I'll talk more about that also in my special weather segment. But clear skies generally above the inversion, so the higher elevations are seeing sunshine, some beautiful conditions, and it'll continue to warm up as well. Can you see where the jet stream is here? Look at the cloud bands tracking by from west to east around this huge ridge of high pressure. If you've got a home barometer, it's reading on the high side now is this big bubble of cold sinking air, or it's actually mild sinking air, but that it's trapping the cold air at the valley, and as the air sinks, it compresses and it warms up, strengthening that inversion. We'll talk about that coming up, but not much going on here. Storm track way to the north. This is pretty much blocking all those storms again. We had that for a good portion of the early autumn with not much changing, and unfortunately, it's going to stick around all the way through Sunday and probably beyond. I think the first threat of precipitation will be northern Idaho next Wednesday. That's a week from tomorrow, and that threat does not look impressive right now. Now that could change. We could see this high pressure retrograde or go backwards a little bit, allowing those storms to maybe kind of sneak around that ridge of high pressure. But it wouldn't be until after that, and then moisture could come in from the south, where we may have some pretty high freezing levels coming in. So all kinds of interesting things happening here. Although precipitation's back east for the next 7 days, clear. That's it. No precipitation in the forecast for the week. So my Treasure Valley forecast for tomorrow, single digits. 1 in Mountain Home, 3 Ontario, upper teens to low 20s, very similar to today, except there could be some patchy dense fog in the morning and areas of low clouds around as well. Long Valley temperatures in the single digits, highs in the 20s, patchy morning fog in Long Valley, mostly sunny skies a little bit later. East Central Mountain forecast tomorrow, still pretty cold out there, below 0 in Stanley, 25 in the afternoon, bright sunshine, but those morning wind chills 5 to 15 below 0, and then in the Magic Valley tomorrow, you'll see it here, 7 in Gooding, 5 in Twin, weekend. Generally 20 to 25. Low clouds and fog. Could even be a couple of flurries around during the day tomorrow. That wind chill in the morning as low as 5 below zero. There's my on your side extended forecast. Temperatures may creep up just a little bit. I'm going to keep them below freezing into the beginning of next week, but there's a chance we could warm up. Higher elevations will warm up as we head towards Martin Luther King Jr. Day coming up on Monday, but still no storms are likely right through this week into the weekend. Well, we are having a photo contest. People are sending their photos to icontribute@KIVITV.com. That's the one email address that covers both of our stations there. And as we switch computers, I will show you the photo that has won. If we can switch on over to our radar computer. Ooh, there it is. Now that is a good-looking photo. That was submitted by Carl Mason. Carl, you've just won an umbrella.
Did he color in the blue
it almost looks like a painting or something.
I don't know if he's got a, it doesn't look like it's a filter. There may be like a polarizing filter on there, possibly, or it might just be that it's
the right angle.
Or some kind of
it's got great contrast.
Nice.
Colored in.
It was a
very nice.
Nice job, and there's some great ones coming in. And so send us your photos.
Yeah.
We'll be giving away an umbrella every night. So
the umbrella's cool too. It's got our logo on it. It says Scott said so. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so to remind you, just in case I didn't say it exactly right.
Oh.
It's a right to say that I sometimes do that.
Okay, there you go. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.